In a world overrun by bugs, tangled dependencies, and code that's, well, basically impossible to maintain, one developer must rise to the challenge. Today, we're not just talking about Java design patterns. We are assembling a super team.
This is the big one, isn't it? Every single project starts out so clean, so perfect. But without a solid plan, it can just spiral into chaos. You know the feeling. You're facing a code base so tangled that making one tiny change feels like you're trying to defuse a bomb. So what's your weapon? What's the plan of attack? Exactly. You don't fight this kind of villain alone. No way. You call on a league of extraordinary patterns, each one with a unique power, each one battle-tested and ready to bring some serious order to your architecture. And these heroes, they're the 23 classic design patterns.
All right, here's our mission briefing for today. We're going to meet three elite squads. First, the creators, who forge our objects. Then, the architects, who build our structures. And finally, the conductors, who orchestrate all the interactions. By the end of this, you'll know exactly who to call for your next big project.
First up, let's meet Squad 1, the creators. Their entire purpose, their reason for being, is to handle the tricky business of creating objects. They make sure your system is born flexible, scalable, and pretty much ready for whatever you throw at it.
Our first hero is the Singleton. You can think of this one as the lone wolf, the ultimate specialist who guarantees there is only one of them in the entire system. When you absolutely, positively need a single global point of control, Singleton is your hero.
And you've definitely seen this hero in action, even if you didn't know it. Ever had to manage a single pool of database connections or handle a global configuration file for an entire application? Yep, that's the Singleton, making sure everyone is working from the same playbook and not wasting precious resources. Next on the team is the factory method. Now, this hero is all about delegation. It sets up the blueprint for creating an object, but, and this is the crucial part, it lets its descendants, the subclasses, make the final call. This gives you amazing flexibility to decide what to create at runtime. A perfect everyday example, a word processor. Think about it. When you click New Document, you don't really care how it's made. You just want a document. The factory method is what lets a subclass spin up the exact type you need, whether it's a letter, a resume, or a report template. It just works. And this squad runs deep. You've got the abstract factory, who creates entire families of related objects, like a whole UI toolkit. Then there's the builder, who's like a master craftsman, meticulously putting together complex objects piece by piece. And let's not forget the prototype, a master cloner that can duplicate existing objects in a flash. What a team! All right, so you have your objects. Now what? Who puts them all together? It's time to meet the architects. Once the objects are created, these heroes step in. Their mission is to assemble classes and objects into bigger, more powerful, and scalable structures. They're the master builders of your application. First up is the adapter, basically the universal translator for your code base. This hero's power is just incredible. It can take two components that were never designed to work together and make them communicate seamlessly. It's all about bridging those gaps. And believe me, you use this hero all the time. Ever called arrays.asList? Guess what? You were using an adapter to make a plain old array act like a list. It's the ultimate team player, making sure your legacy code and shiny new libraries can actually get along. Now, this next hero is fascinating because its main power is hiding complexity. Meet the facade. It stands in front of a massive, super complicated subsystem and gives you one single, simple, clean way to interact with it. It's your simplification expert. You know, think of a home theater remote. You press one button, maybe movie mode, and bam! The projector turns on, the screen comes down, the lights dim. That's a facade. In the coding world, Spring's JDBC template does the exact same thing for all the messy details of database access. And this squad is stacked. You've got the bridge, who cleanly separates what something does from how it does it, the composite, who builds these elegant tree-like structures, the decorator, who can add new powers to your objects on the fly. Then there's the super efficient memory-saving flyweight, and the proxy, who acts like a guardian, controlling access to other objects. And for our final squad, we have the conductors. I mean, creating objects and building structures is one thing, but making them all work together like a well-oiled machine, That's the mission of this team. They are the masters of communication and collaboration. Let's talk about the command pattern. This is genius. This hero takes a simple request, like save this file or delete that text, and wraps it up into its own standalone object. And why is that a game changer? Because now you can pass these commands around, put them in a queue, log them, and most famously of all, you can undo them. Seriously, anytime you've hit Ctrl+Z to undo a mistake, you've witnessed the awesome power of the command hero. It's also the backbone of thread pools, where runnable tasks are literally just commands waiting in a line to be executed. Next up is the observer, the great communicator, or the town crier. When something important happens to one object, like its state changes, the observer basically shouts it from the rooftops, automatically letting every other object that cares know what happened. It creates this beautiful, decoupled notification network. This right here is how so many modern applications work. Every single time you click a button in an app, there's an observer listening for that event. The entire model view controller architecture, which is the foundation of countless frameworks, relies heavily on this pattern to keep the data and the display perfectly in sync. And wow, this squad is huge. It's full of specialists. You've got the iterator for walking through collections, the mediator who acts like an air traffic controller to reduce chaos, and the memento, which is like a video game save point for your objects. But wait, there's more. There's the strategy pattern for swapping out algorithms, the state pattern, the visitor, the list just goes on. Each one is a master of object conversation.
So there you have it. We haven't just looked at individual patterns. We've met a full-fledged league of heroes, the creators, the architects, and the conductors. Once you understand their roles, you can start assembling the perfect team to conquer pretty much any software challenge you face.
So let's lock this in with a final review. The Creator Squad, with heroes like Singleton and Factory Method, is all about flexible object creation. The Architects, led by pros like Adapter and Facade, help you build scalable structures. And the Conductors, featuring standouts like Command and Observer, make sure all your objects are communicating effectively. So as you head back to your own projects, back to your architectural blueprints to face your next great challenge, remember this. The question isn't if you'll need a hero, it's which one. When the code apocalypse comes knocking at your door, who are you going to call on first?